you know Dan Coates. He wants to be your senator again, former senator and congressman and ambassador, and our guest here on Fort Wayne's Morning News. And we're going to talk a little bit about job creation also. Good morning, Senator Coates.
Good morning.
You know, there's been a lot of talk about what can be done with jobs, and in the financial media, I think they're missing the point just a little bit sometimes, that you can't just pile on more money onto businesses and then magically jobs will come back, and I think the people are expecting jobs to come back a little too fast also.
Well, you're right about that, and we have seen that the stimulus has not stimulated. I do think that lower tax rates and less regulations give employers more certainty in terms of how they're going to be taxed and regulated in the future, and therefore they know what their costs are going to be, and they can make decisions about how to buy equipment and when to buy equipment and how to add employees. I've talked to businesses all across the state, small, medium, and large, and almost all of them, virtually all of them, have said, "Bruce, I am not hiring right now because I cannot fully look forward and see what all my obligations are going to be coming out of Washington. I know that health care has been passed, and that is going to add costs to my business in a very significant way, some of them amazing increases in cost. It's going to change the relationship that we have with employees in terms of being able to work something out that works for the company and allows people to keep jobs. They're worried about a carbon tax or a cap-and-trade thing coming along that's going to raise the price of energy and other regulations. So uncertainty is probably the thing that is keeping, at least that's what they tell me, what is keeping them from going forward and hiring. Even though the business has picked up, some of the workers are working overtime. They just don't want to take on more obligations. So I think the most important thing is not just pouring money out into stimulus projects that just are temporary, short-term, and don't create permanent jobs, but rather creating a policy of encouragement and optimism for the future. Now, our state is a very business-friendly state, and we're well-positioned for recovery when the recovery comes. People think that who run businesses think that this is a state where they are treated favorably with low taxes, low regulations, and encouragement to locate and do business here. This is not true on a national basis, and I think the focus is just done on the wrong thing.
Somewhere in D.C., it's my opinion that things have gotten flipped around in that inside the Beltway there, the thought is, well, we'll just put a lot of people into a business and then the business follows. And that's not how it works, is it? I mean, you have to have the money stream coming in and then you hire more people so you can continue to make more money.
Well, you've got to have money coming in so that you have the ability to pay those people when you when the so-called subsidy runs out. You're stuck with the obligation, and if you don't have the work orders coming in, you have to let them go. So you get a little temporary spike, but then like the census work, 60 days, put some people to work. And then they're back out of work. We saw these latest jobless numbers that came through a couple days ago. Staggering the amount of new claims for people who are unemployed, over 500,000. And this is the wrong trend line, and I think it's a serious situation. Washington and the Obama administration, I believe, needs to own up to the fact that their proposals and their model have not worked. It's been 2 years. They gave it a shot. Maybe it was well-intended, but it didn't work. It's time to switch gears and do the things that John Kennedy did to bring a country out of a recession in his early days. That's a Democrat if they want to follow that lead. Or Ronald Reagan did when he was in office, a Republican. The same thing. They lowered the cost of doing business and then gave some certainty and optimism to employers, and that spurred business, made consumers feel like they were more certain about the future, and created an atmosphere of we're back, and it's, morning in America, as Reagan said, and we saw many, many years of solid growth from those policies.
Are we not on track to do exactly the opposite, though, come the first of the year when all of these tax cuts and tax reliefs expire, and it doesn't seem that anything's being done to give me a break?
Absolutely. Allowing tax cuts that were imposed 8-10 years ago to expire raises taxes for every individual in America. government and take money away from the job creators.
That is former Senator, Congressman, and Ambassador Dan Coates wants to be your senator again. And Senator Coates, it's always great having you with us here on Fort Wayne's Morning News. Thank you very much. Have a good weekend.
Well, thank you. I'm on my way up to Fort Wayne in central Indiana, over to Plymouth and some other areas. We'll be in Fort Wayne this afternoon. So traveling around the state and hearing an awful lot from people.